The final Paralives Developer Weekly Chat has been made public, and the devs have shared their thoughts, feelings, and information about the game. So grab a cuppa and let's talk about it. First off, you're going to be able to shift right-click or draw a rectangular box around the paras to make them part of a group. If you scoop up the wrong para in the group, don't worry, you're going to be able to remove them with shift right-click. Now, an interesting thing about groups is that distance doesn't matter for selecting. You're going to be able to grab paras from anywhere in the world. When you initiate a group action like dance, eat, or chat, all of the paras in the group, no matter where they are in the world, will path to the same place, and you'll be able to see the together cards kick in. Now, this is exactly the level of control that makes multi-para moments manageable without loads of micromanaging every step, and personally, I am totally here for it. At the moment, paras will teleport to work, meaning they can't actually be late to work. But the plan is to move forward towards physical commutes, so being late will actually depend on travel time. For now, you're going to be able to cancel going to work, and the only downside is missing that day's salary. There's no extra penalties yet. The devs say, however, that this will evolve as early access development continues, but that's how it will play when early access starts in May. Now, since the game's early access release has been delayed until the end of May 2026, the animators of Paralives are using the extra time to tighten a few animations and add a handful of interactions both at your para's home and around town. You can expect tweaked UI sounds, further work on ambience, and all 4 Parley voices integrated into the game at early access release, plus maybe some extra music. And if you've seen outdooriness type skills in screenshots, there won't be anything like that in place for early access, unfortunately. Fishing was a hack week experiment and will likely be disabled at the start of early access, but hopefully we'll see it return as further development takes place. If you're here for concrete gameplay and tutorials without any fluff, please tap the like button. It tells the algorithm here on YouTube that there's an audience for deep dive Paralives coverage and helps more players find my videos. Even with the delay, we can expect roughly the same number of features as previously outlined for the original December release, just with a lot more polish and hopefully fewer bugs. One thing that the devs will be adding, though, is the ability to invite paras home so that you're not out hunting for your crush clear across town. Onboarding is improving too, with tutorials and help screens, so new players won't be lost at sea. The big question that everyone is wondering, though, is will they delay again? I've got some good news for you all. The team says that they're focused on shoring up live mode, they're confident in the new date, and they are not planning to delay the game's early access release again. Programmers are targeting the most painful issues with monthly private playtests to keep priorities focused. Honestly, I'm really happy to hear that they won't be delaying the game again, and that we can expect to be able to get our hands on early access Paralives in late May 2026. If you want specifics, the roadmap is your source of truth. I've put the link to it below in the video description for you so that you can find it easier. Do you wish that you could look at the locked posts over at Patreon? Sadly, you're gonna have to wait until next year. They will go public on May 25th, 2026 when the game is released in early access. Now, I know what you're thinking, that the devs had originally said that Patreon posts would be made public in December, but since the early access delay, they've moved that to correspond with the new early access release date. Pets are being planned for late early access, with cats, dogs, and horses on the list. Other pets such as birds, reptiles, and so on are being considered, but there's nothing official beyond the big 3 yet. For LifeSims players, this approach avoids overpromising and will give us cleaner, deeper systems per pet species. If you want these updates flowing as we head towards early access, please subscribe to the channel. Most of my watchers aren't subbed, and doing so genuinely encourages me to keep making these breakdowns. On the mod side of things, if you translate someone else's mod, say from English to Spanish, using the built-in tools, the game will publish a separate translation mod that depends on the original mod. This means your translation won't push updates to the original mod's files since you're not the author. Unfortunately, that does mean compatibility can break if the original mod is updated. Your best path will be to collaborate with the original mod author and get translations into the base mod where possible, instead of your own translated mod version. This is the final dev chat, and bi-weekly live streams are taking over. The idea is to show gameplay directly, collect live feedback and in comments, and let the team spend more time fixing and showcasing what they've done in the game since the last live stream. The developers are open to occasional polls on divisive features such as controllable pets after early access, but they're gonna play it by ear. And this leads us to a question. Since up to now, most of my videos on Paralives here on YouTube has been around these weekly dev chats, what would you like me to create videos on going forward to take the place of the dev chat overview videos? I do plan on releasing news videos covering anything that the devs share publicly, but I do need some filler ideas, so please let me know in the comments. The team credits the community with shaping features and priorities, as lots of ideas have come from the dev chats and the official Discord. Even the soundtrack and radio stations picked up sparks from your suggestions, which is absolutely awesome. That feedback loop isn't ending either. It's just moving into live streams where you'll be able to see systems in action as they evolve, and of course, the devs do still check on the official Discord when they have time to do so. So if you have any ideas and you don't have access to any of the live streams or the locked patron posts, please do continue to post your thoughts, opinions, and ideas in that official Discord. On the delay, the vibe at the studio is relief. It was a hard call, but they want live mode to match the quality of build mode and Paramaker, with less crunch time and a lot more stability. There are some fun Easter eggs in regard to paras in the world right now. Chloe's para self appears in town and actually owns several landmarks in the world, with a second Chloe para also in the town as an internal joke. The cafe worker is actually Leah's para self with a different hairstyle. Alice exists in pre-mades, and Andre uses his para self for testing. If the team's paras are added as pre-mades in the early access release, they're going to avoid duplicates, so you don't have to worry about two Chloes walking around. Alright, my friends, that is your roundup of the final Paralives Dev Chat. If you missed the previous one, you can watch that here.